Even as time moves on and new generations rise, there are still WWE legends among us who once helped shape the history of the sport. They're not just icons of a golden era, they are living proof that passion for sports entertainment knows no age. In today's video, join Wrestling Sphere as we take a look at the 15 oldest living WWE wrestlers, figures who have, are, and always will hold a special place in the hearts of fans around the world. Number 15. Hulk Hogan, the immortal icon of wrestling. Now in his 70s, Hulk Hogan remains one of the most iconic names in WWE history. With his signature blonde hair, trademark bandana, and the unforgettable catchphrase, "What ya gonna do when Hulkamania runs wild on you?" Hogan wasn't just a wrestler, he was a pop culture phenomenon throughout the 1980s and 1990s. Hogan's wrestling journey began in the late 1970s, but it wasn't until he joined WWF, now WWE, that his star truly exploded. His electrifying charisma, overwhelming strength, and unmatched connection with fans quickly turned him into the face of an entire golden era of professional wrestling. Classic showdowns with legends like Andre the Giant, The Ultimate Warrior, and Macho Man Randy Savage became timeless moments that defined WWE's legacy. Though he's long retired from full-time competition, Hogan still makes occasional appearances at major events like WrestleMania and Raw Anniversary. Every time he shows up, it's as if royalty has returned, bringing nostalgia, energy, and inspiration to both older fans and a new generation of wrestlers. Beyond wrestling, Hogan keeps his image alive through various business ventures, television projects, and public appearances. He's also been open about his personal life, particularly his long recovery journey following numerous surgeries sustained over a grueling career. While age has naturally slowed him down physically, Hogan's aura and influence have never faded. He stands as living proof of the saying, "Heroes get old, but legends never die." Even today, Hulk Hogan continues to be a source of pride and inspiration, an immortal force in the world of professional wrestling. Number 14. Larry Bisco, from protege to wrestling legend. Larry Bisco isn't just a name remembered in professional wrestling. He's a symbol of transformation, a man who stepped out from under the shadow of a legend to etch his own legacy into the annals of the sport. Born during the golden age of traditional wrestling, Larry began his career under the mentorship of none other than Bruno Sammartino, one of WWE's most revered icons of the early era. At first, many believed Larry would remain forever in the role of Sammartino's loyal student. But that perception changed in an instant when Larry made a shocking move, turning on his mentor in a now iconic betrayal that stunned fans and shook the wrestling world. That pivotal moment didn't just mark a character shift, it redefined Larry's path. From being seen as a mere sidekick, he became one of the most hated villains of his time, adding raw intensity and emotional depth to every match he was part of. Larry Bisco's talents didn't stop at wrestling. After hanging up his boots, he transitioned seamlessly into commentary, where his deep understanding of the game, sharp insight, and charismatic delivery made him a standout voice in both WCW and later WWE broadcasts. Though he's long stepped away from the spotlight, Larry remains a celebrated figure in the industry. His induction into the WWE Hall of Fame stands as a well-earned tribute to a career built on consistency, intelligence, and undeniable passion. Even now, he occasionally appears in interviews and Legends reunions, offering wisdom and perspective drawn from decades in the ring. Larry Bisco proves one thing with absolute clarity: you don't have to start as a star to finish as a legend. All it takes is grit, courage, and the will to define your own legacy. Number 13. Bob Orton Jr., the man with the legendary cast. When longtime WWE fans hear the name Bob Orton Jr., one image instantly comes to mind: a crafty wrestler with a cast on his arm, always ready to deliver a surprise blow that could drop any opponent. With his sly in-ring style, masterful deception, and unapologetically sneaky persona, Bob Orton Jr. was one of the most memorable heels of the 1980s. A proud member of the esteemed Orton wrestling family, one of the most storied dynasties in wrestling history, Bob Orton Jr. laid the foundation for his son Randy Orton's future success. While he never reached the same main event status as Randy, Bob carved out a legacy of his own. He became a fan-favorite villain, often seen alongside the legendary Rowdy Roddy Piper and making unforgettable run-ins during major events. Unlike wrestlers who relied solely on brute force or flashy looks, Bob Orton Jr. won crowds over with his ring IQ, storytelling ability, and his signature old-school heel tricks. His infamous arm cast, supposedly worn due to a lingering injury, was cleverly used as a legal weapon, turning it into an iconic part of his persona that fans and foes alike came to recognize. Though he's been retired from active competition for years, Orton Jr. has maintained a strong connection to WWE. He's made appearances to support Randy during key matches and continues to be viewed as a symbol of traditional wrestling, where cunning and psychology often outshone raw power. Now in his later years, Bob Orton Jr. stands as a living relic of WWE's golden age. Whether you love to hate him or secretly rooted for him, one thing's for sure: Bob Orton Jr. is a name no true wrestling fan can forget. Number 12. Bob Backlund, a living legend of WWE's golden era. When talking about champions who left a lasting legacy in WWE history, Bob Backlund is a name that commands respect. A true icon of professional wrestling, Backlund was born in 1949 and is now well into his 70s. Yet, every time he appears in public, he still radiates sharp intellect, unwavering discipline, and the aura of a former world heavyweight champion. Backlund's golden era began in the late 1970s and extended into the early 1980s, a time during which he held the WWF World Heavyweight Championship for nearly 6 consecutive years. That reign remains one of the longest in company history, rivaled only by legends like Bruno Sammartino. What set Backlund apart wasn't just his physical prowess, it was his mastery of classic wrestling technique, strategic mind, and his commitment to the pure, traditional style of grappling. Unlike many stars of his generation who quietly retired after their prime, Backlund continued to play an active role in the wrestling world. In the 1990s, he made a shocking return as an eccentric, old-school conservative character, even capturing the WWE Championship once again. In the years that followed, he transitioned into guest appearances and mentoring roles, sharing valuable life lessons on resilience, work ethic, and staying true to one's craft. Even in his later years, Bob Backlund maintains remarkable health and mental sharpness, thanks to a disciplined lifestyle and relentless spirit. He embodies the essence of enduring athleticism and remains a shining example of what it means to dedicate oneself wholeheartedly to the sport. Simply put, Bob Backlund is not just a former champion. He is one of the enduring pillars who helped shape WWE into what it is today. Number 11. Don Morocco, the original The Rock of the 1980s. Before Dwayne Johnson made The Rock a household name, there was another man who first carried that moniker into the WWE spotlight: Don Morocco. In the 1980s, Morocco was a force of nature who had fans leaping out of their seats with every appearance. With his muscular physique, steely glare, and fierce, aggressive in-ring style, Don Morocco was the very definition of a classic bad guy during WWE's golden era. Born and raised in Hawaii, Morocco entered the world of wrestling with an impressive athletic build and an unbreakable fighting spirit. He quickly turned heads with his ability to control the pace of a match and his masterful manipulation of crowd emotions. Whether it was brutal battles with Jimmy Snuka or heated rivalries with Pedro Morales, Morocco played a pivotal role in redefining how audiences viewed the heel character. What set Morocco apart wasn't just his physical dominance, it was his performance skills and the sharp, layered persona he brought to the ring. With his smug taunts and strategic mind games, he had an uncanny ability to provoke both his opponents and the crowd, ensuring he stayed at the center of conversation long after the match ended. Even after stepping away from the WWE spotlight, Morocco remained a respected figure within the wrestling world. He committed his time to training the next generation of wrestlers, sharing the hard-earned wisdom gathered from years of experience in both regional and national promotions. Today, as he enjoys his later years, Don Morocco continues to be celebrated as an irreplaceable icon, a living reminder of an era when The Rock first carried true weight in the world of professional wrestling. Number 10. Ric Flair, the immortal nature boy of wrestling. Even in his 70s, Ric Flair remains a name that commands respect across the wrestling world. He's not just a former wrestler, he's a living symbol of flamboyance, pride, and unmatched charisma that has defined professional wrestling for generations. With his trademark golden hair, flashy robes, and the iconic whoa echoing through arenas, Flair turned his very presence into an unforgettable brand. His legendary career spanned multiple eras and promotions, from the NWA and WCW to WWE, where he amassed a staggering 16 recognized world championship reigns. That record has become the gold standard, a benchmark for excellence that continues to inspire every new generation that follows. But titles alone don't define Ric Flair. What truly set him apart was his in-ring psychology, electrifying showmanship, and unmatched ability to carry a match, making every bout feel like a grand spectacle. Despite facing serious health scares, including moments where his life hung in the balance, Flair never truly stepped away. He continued to appear at major events, contribute to storylines, and captivate audiences with the same commanding energy that made him famous. Flair has never allowed age to dull his shine. He still struts with that signature confidence, as if time itself has no power over him. Ric Flair is more than just a chapter in WWE history. He's a saga all his own. In him, style meets substance, talent fuses with passion, and the will to win becomes art. The Nature Boy is not merely remembered. He is celebrated, revered, and undeniably eternal in the world of sports entertainment. Number 9. Jerry, the King Lawler, the uncrowned king of the ring and the commentary booth. Jerry, the King Lawler is one of the most versatile figures to ever grace the world of WWE. Born in 1949, he's not only a veteran wrestler but also a voice etched into the memories of millions of wrestling fans. With his iconic crown atop his head, Lawler entered the ring radiating regal confidence and unmatched charisma. Before becoming one of WWE's most recognizable commentators, Lawler was already a legend in the local wrestling circuits, especially in Memphis. There, he built his reputation through intense matches and fiery promos, always delivering deeply personal feuds that drew fans in. He never needed a world title to be considered royalty. His showmanship, presence, and ability to captivate a crowd earned him the nickname, the King. As his in-ring appearances became less frequent, Lawler transitioned to commentary and found a new home beside Jim Ross. Their chemistry became iconic. Lawler's expressive voice, quick wit, and over-the-top humor, especially his tongue-in-cheek flirtations, brought a unique flavor to WWE broadcasts. But beneath the jokes was a sharp wrestling mind, capable of breaking down matches with insight drawn from decades in the ring. Now well into his 70s, Jerry Lawler still makes occasional appearances at WWE events, always exuding the presence of a living legend. He's more than just a beloved personality. He's a symbol of wrestling's golden age and a powerful reminder that when passion still burns bright, age truly is just a number. Number 8. Carlos Colon Sr., the spiritual father of Puerto Rican wrestling. Carlos Colon Sr. is more than just a respected figure in professional wrestling. He's the foundational pillar who helped shape and grow the sport in Puerto Rico. Not only was he a skilled competitor in the ring, but he also played the roles of promoter, mentor, and cultural icon for the Caribbean wrestling scene. Born in Santa Isabel, Puerto Rico, Colon entered the wrestling world at a time when the region had few standout names. But through relentless passion and unshakable determination, he rose to become one of the most influential figures in Latin wrestling history. His career was defined by brutal, unforgettable rivalries, especially with the likes of Abdullah the Butcher and Bruiser Brody, feuds so intense that just mentioning them still sends chills down fans' spines. Yet Carlos Colon didn't stop at personal glory. He co-founded the World Wrestling Council, WWC, a promotion that played a crucial role in developing local talent and bringing international attention to Puerto Rican wrestling. Under his leadership, WWC became a training ground for future stars, and it was also where he laid the foundation for his son Carlito's rise in the wrestling world. In 2014, WWE honored him with a rightful induction into the Hall of Fame, recognizing decades of contributions that, while often behind the scenes, were undeniably vital to the industry. Though he has since stepped out of the spotlight, Carlos Colon Sr. remains a proud and celebrated figure in wrestling. Now in his 70s, he continues to embody the spirit, resilience, and pride of a true legend, a living testament to the golden age of Caribbean wrestling. Number 6. Mil Mascaras, the masked legend who paved the way for Lucha Libre in the U.S. In the vibrant high-flying world of Lucha Libre, Mexico's iconic wrestling style, few names carry as much weight as Mil Mascaras. His name, meaning Man of a Thousand Masks, isn't just about his signature look, but about the legacy he built as a pioneer, a cultural symbol, and an unwavering warrior of the ring. Born in 1942, Mil Mascaras stands as one of the earliest figures to take Lucha Libre beyond the borders of Mexico, introducing its unique flair to global audiences. What set Mil Mascaras apart wasn't just his dynamic aerial moves, but his unmatched sense of showmanship. He brought an elegant yet fierce wrestling style to life, artful and acrobatic, yet commanding. At a time when wrestling leaned heavily on brute strength and traditionalism, Mil Mascaras was a breath of fresh air. He made history by becoming the first masked Mexican wrestler to perform at Madison Square Garden, breaking long-standing restrictions against masked competitors and marking a breakthrough moment for international talent. His impact extended far beyond Mexico and the United States. From WWE, then WWF, to Japan and across Latin America, Mil Mascaras became a true global ambassador for Lucha Libre. His influence helped lay the groundwork for future stars like Rey Mysterio, Kalisto, and Sin Cara, who all followed the path he carved with pride and honor. Even now, well into his 80s, Mil Mascaras carries himself with unmistakable presence and dignity. He's not only a wrestling legend but a living piece of cultural heritage, a trailblazer who empowered generations of masked wrestlers to stand tall and embrace their unique identity. Number 5. Jimmy Valiant, the ageless boogie-woogie man of pro wrestling. In an era when professional wrestling was steeped in classic entertainment, Jimmy Valiant, with his wild flowing hair, thick beard, and one-of-a-kind persona, quickly became a captivating phenomenon. Known as the Boogie-Woogie Man, his nickname didn't just reflect his love for music. It embodied the wild, free-spirited, and rebellious energy he brought to every performance. Valiant launched his career in the 1960s and made an immediate impact with a style rooted in pure showmanship. He blended the carefree hippie vibes of the time with the unpredictable chaos of brutal in-ring brawls. Though not built like a powerhouse, Jimmy stood out with his charisma, crowd-pleasing antics, and that rare mix of eccentricity and charm that fans couldn't get enough of. While he did appear in WWF, the predecessor to WWE, the most memorable chapters of his career came through the NWA and various independent promotions. It was there that he built his reputation as one of the most offbeat and unforgettable characters of the 1980s. His over-the-top entrances, electric crowd interactions, and seemingly improvised rants became staples of his act, and part of what made him so beloved. Though he's long stepped away from the spotlight, Valiant never truly left the wrestling world. He opened his own wrestling school and has spent years mentoring the next generation of performers. Now in his later years, the Boogie-Woogie Man continues to exude optimism, joy, and a timeless spirit that defies age. To his fans, Jimmy Valiant is more than a wrestler. He's a performer, a personality, and a vibrant piece of wrestling history. Unique, unforgettable, and irreplaceable, he carved out a place all his own in the colorful tapestry of professional wrestling. Number 4. Ivan Putsky, the Polish power, who shook WWE in the 70s. When talking about the most influential early-era WWE legends, Ivan Putsky's name always comes up with admiration and respect. Born in 1941 in Poland, Putsky became known not just for his powerful physique, but for his fiery spirit and electrifying, down-to-earth presence in the ring. He stood as a proud symbol of the immigrant wave that left a lasting mark on American wrestling during the 1970s. Nicknamed Polish Power, Ivan Putsky was a powerhouse in every sense. With a sculpted body, bulging muscles, and unmatched strength, he didn't just look the part, he lived it. His background in bodybuilding helped him stand out in a WWE that was evolving rapidly. Putsky's explosive energy, bone-crushing holds, and brute force style made arenas erupt every time he stepped into the ring. One of the highlights of his storied career came when he teamed with Tito Santana to capture the WWE Tag Team Championship. That moment not only marked the peak of his in-ring accomplishments but also solidified his place as one of the most beloved faces of his era. Now well into his 80s, Ivan Putsky is still remembered as a symbol of true grit and raw strength. His legacy isn't just about the titles he won, it's about the passion he brought to the ring and the pride he carried for his roots. He paved the way for future generations, including his son, Scott Putsky, who followed in his footsteps and pursued a career in professional wrestling. Ivan's story remains a powerful reminder of how heart, heritage, and hard work can turn a man into a legend. Number 3. Dory Funk Jr., the keeper of classic wrestling soul. In a wrestling world that has increasingly embraced modern entertainment, Dory Funk Jr. remains a living testament to a golden era where technique, precision, and discipline reigned supreme. Born in 1941, Dory is the son of Southern wrestling legend Dory Funk Sr. and the older brother of Terry Funk, but he never lived in anyone's shadow. Instead, he built a legacy entirely his own. Dory Funk Jr. is widely regarded as one of the most skilled grapplers and mat technicians in wrestling history. His matches never relied on flashy antics or dramatic stunts. Instead, his mastery of submission holds, counters, and pure wrestling fundamentals captivated audiences and earned deep respect. In 1969, He captured the NWA World Heavyweight Championship and held the title for over 4 years, an extraordinary feat at the time and a mark of true excellence. Although he wasn't a regular face in WWE, Dory made notable appearances at several major events, especially those honoring wrestling legends. His contributions were officially recognized when he was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, a fitting tribute to his lifelong dedication to the craft. Now in his 80s, Dory Funk Jr. hasn't completely stepped away from the ring. He continues to run the Funkin' Dojo, a training ground for young wrestlers, where he passionately teaches the pure, foundational style of wrestling he's preserved throughout his life. More than just a legend, Dory Funk Jr. is a guardian of the sport's true essence, a reminder to future generations that before wrestling became entertainment, it was first and foremost a refined, respected art form. Number 2. Abdullah the Butcher, the infamous madman of professional wrestling. When it comes to the most terrifying legends to ever set foot in a wrestling ring, Abdullah the Butcher is a name that instantly sends shivers down the spine. Born in 1941, he's not only one of the oldest living wrestlers but also a brutal embodiment of chaos, violence, and mystery that defined the hardcore wrestling scene for decades. With a massive frame, wild eyes, and a fighting style that shattered every traditional mold, Abdullah commanded attention the moment he appeared. He didn't rely on fancy moves or technical finesse. Every element of his offense focused on one singular goal: inflict maximum pain. Whether it was a concealed blade, a sharp fork, or any object within reach, Abdullah transformed everyday items into instruments of carnage, often leaving opponents bloodied and broken. He wrestled across dozens of countries, spreading fear and mayhem wherever he went. Though his appearances in WWE were limited, his legacy resonates deeply, especially in the independent wrestling circuit and the notoriously violent deathmatch style. His forehead bears a map of scars, his body covered in battle wounds, not by accident, but by choice. For Abdullah, pain wasn't a side effect of the job, it was part of the performance, part of the spectacle. Now in his 80s, Abdullah the Butcher no longer steps into the ring, but his name still echoes through the annals of wrestling history. He's not a figure for the faint of heart, but his impact is undeniable. Abdullah remains a symbol of raw aggression and fearless intensity, a living relic of the blood-soaked, no-holds-barred era that once defined professional wrestling. Number 1. Johnny Rodz, WWE's quiet giant and unsung foundation. Topping the list of WWE's oldest living legends, Johnny Rodz may be an unfamiliar name to many modern fans. But to those who lived through the golden age of professional wrestling, he represents a quiet yet unshakable cornerstone, one of the essential figures who helped build WWE from the ground up. Born in 1938, Rodz didn't boast an impressive win-loss record or championship reigns. What earned him unwavering respect was his tireless dedication and his role as a foundational figure throughout a career that spanned decades. He was a familiar face in the WWF, the predecessor to WWE, often cast in the role of the enhancer, the trusted veteran who helped elevate rising stars, many of whom would go on to become the faces of the company. Johnny Rodz never needed victories to prove his worth. His consistent performances, sharp instincts, and rock-solid professionalism made him a dependable presence backstage and in the ring. After retiring from active competition, he transitioned to training the next generation of wrestlers in New York, producing a number of talents who would go on to make their mark in WWE and across the wrestling world. While he was never the recipient of flashy tributes or headline-making honors, WWE did induct Johnny Rodz into the Hall of Fame, an overdue but well-deserved recognition of his immeasurable contributions. Now in his 80s, Rodz stands as a living testament to perseverance, humility, and an unwavering passion for the business. He may not have worn the gold, but Johnny Rodz helped shape the very ring it was fought for in, cementing his place as one of the most respected and quietly influential figures in WWE history. Thank you for watching until the end of the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of the exciting content coming up from Wrestling Sphere.